The Pinching Man, close read number 2, character focus. All right, so on Monday, or whenever you did checkpoint number 9, we read a story called The Pinching Man. So, what we know already is the Pinching Man is someone who pinches kids who misbehave. And the narrator of the story decided to take a walk to another village to visit his friend, which is against the rules. And the Pinching Man caught him. So the boy convinced his mother to cover for him by saying she sent him to get sugar so that he wouldn't get pinched. So the boy basically tricked the Pinching Man into saying he wasn't doing anything wrong so he wouldn't get in trouble. So we already did our first read, which was reading to understand. Today we're doing our second read of this story, which is looking at details. Our second read, focus. So this is what we're going to try to answer today. What are the Pinching Man's character traits, and how do we know? Remember our characterization workshop. So characterization is the way an author develops characters in the story in order to show their traits. Characterization can be direct or indirect. So for example, if you look at the top left over here, this first picture, if I were going to say direct characterization, I would say, this boy is a kind boy. I would just say how it is. If I were doing indirect characterization, I would more show what's happening. So instead of saying the boy is kind, I would say, the boy is helping an old lady across the street. And maybe she's blind, I don't know. But we can guess, we can make an inference that he's kind without us saying it. So as we do our second read today, we're going to use steal, which is something we learned about last week. You're thinking, what does the Pinching Man say? What does he think? What is his effect on others? What are his actions? And what does he look like? And all of these things, as we notice them, we're thinking, what does this say about the kind of person the Pinching Man is? All right, so for checkpoint 10, you're going to log in on Summit. You'll see something that looks like this, and you'll have the directions here. And like always, the yellow boxes tell you where to write. I want to point this out. Your resource page on Summit has a list of character traits to help you answer the question. So we're thinking about Steele, we're thinking about what does he say, what does he think, what is his effect on others, but what you guys are going to have to do is think, what kind of person is the Pinching Man? So if you're stuck, you can't think of the right word, go to your references. You're going to see a page that looks like this. Character traits, how is my character as a person? And it has a lot of words here that can help you make an inference, okay? So we're just going to go through the first part of a story together and do an example, and then you're going to continue on your own. So rereading the first part, The Pinching Man from Facing the Lion. Some people might say our society is primitive, but I think it is the best, fairest system that I know. Our system is based not only on family, but also on the village itself. No one goes hungry. We take care of each other. We watch out for one another. Children respect their elders. If children do wrong, any adult can correct them. That means everyone in the village is equal. In almost every village, there is a disciplinarian called the Pinching Man. He punishes disobedient kids by pinching them. He pinches you really hard on the legs, and let me tell you, once you are pinched, you remember it. Parents who want their kids to obey will tell them, if you don't behave, I will call the Pinching Man. That usually does the trick. Kids are so scared of the Pinching Man. All right, so I'm going to pause there because I noticed one of the parts of Steele, an action that happened in this part. So this is something that describes something the Pinching Man does, okay? So in the story it said, He pinches you really hard on the legs, and let me tell you, once you are pinched, you remember it. Okay, so what he does, his action, is he pinches you on the legs. Now I am going to make an inference. So when you're doing this, you could go to your reference sheet right here, all right? Or you could come up with a word on your own. You don't have to use the words here. But the word I came up with to describe the pinching man was impactful. So this is what I said. The pinching man is an impactful person because he makes an impression by pinching kids so hard that they remember it. So I looked at the evidence, and then I thought, what does this tell me about the pinching man? What can I learn about the pinching man based on this? So you are going to do the exact same thing as you read. So you're going to continue through your second read on your own. And whenever you get to a box like this, you're going to look at the evidence, look at what part of a Steele chart it is, and then you're going to fill out the yellow parts. So you're going to say the pinching man is a whatever kind of person he is based on the evidence, a blank person because, and you're going to explain why. So go through. There are 1, 2, 3 questions you have to answer, and then a challenge question at the end. And when you are done, you are going to request feedback. As always, if you have any questions, anything at all, make sure you're going to Zoom office hours with your ELA teacher.